Hello! This is a 20-minute slow yoga flow with a focus on the upper back, shoulders, and lats. Optional props today for today's class are a blanket to cushion the knees and a strap, as we will be doing some arm binds today with eagle arms and cow face pose. We'll start our class today in child's pose. And take a moment to settle into the child's pose. Knees can be together. Maybe bring the knees out a little bit wider to create some space for the hips. Arms will extend out in front, third eye down towards the mat. Maybe a gentle tilt of the head side to side. Begin to release through the neck and the shoulders. And option to close the eyes if that helps you to ground down. And then begin to deepen through the breath as you inhale through the nose. And for this first one, open mouth, let something go. Again, full breath in. And empty the breath out. One more time, inhale, begin to fill up, expand the lungs, maybe feel the upper back lift, expand. On your exhale, empty the breath out, let the hips sink back down into the heels. You can choose to stay here, or we'll begin to walk the fingers forward, find a little more length, maybe even pint the hands, fingertips down and towards the mat. Can you relax the shoulders away from ears, but maintain that length as you sink the hips back into the heels? Stay here, or we'll begin to walk the fingers over towards the left side of the mat. Trying to keep the weight even through both hips, opening up not only through the right side, but also through the left. About 3 breaths. And take your time. Eventually, we'll walk the fingers over towards the right corner of the mat. Again, try to keep the weight even through both hips. Opening up not only through the left side, but also through the right. About 3 breaths here. When you feel about even, we'll come back through center. Stay here for as long as you need. Eventually, on your next inhale, we'll lift up through tabletop. We'll take some movement here through cat-cow. So as you inhale, you can drop the belly, maybe lift the chest, lift the gaze. On your exhale, press the floor way around through the spine. Any other movement, maybe you peek over one shoulder, then the other, creating a little C shape here with the spine. Maybe circles with the hips. About 5 or 6 breaths here. Any movement that feels good in the body. When you feel about even, we'll meet through center, hips over knees, shoulders over wrist. We'll make our way to puppy pose. Keeping the hips stacked up over the knees, you can begin to walk the hands forward, melt the chest down towards the mat. Chin or forehead down onto the mat, and melting the heart down towards the earth. Finding a nice deep heart opener here. We'll take about 5 or 6 breaths. And stay here longer if you need. If you feel ready, we'll walk back up onto the hands underneath the shoulders. Take any little movement here through cat-cow. And we'll take a twist. On your next inhale, right arm will lift. We'll thread the needle, right arm under, right ear to mat. Option for the left hand, the fingers can stay in front of the nose, or maybe walk the hand forward towards the top edge of the mat, finding a little more length through the left side. You can tent the fingers here, finding a bit more opening through the left side. And you also have the option to take the left hand, reach around the low back for a half bind. About 5 or 6 breaths here. And stay longer if you need. When you're ready, you can unravel left hand in front of the nose, press down, open up, right hand up towards the sky. You can take some circles through the wrist or maybe movement through the whole shoulder if that feels good. Eventually, we'll pass back through center, option for some movement through tabletop. And then setting up for the twist for the other side. On your next breath, left arm will lift. When you're ready, thread the needle, exhale, left arm under, left ear to mat. Option again with the right hand, fingers can stay in front of the nose. Option to extend the arm up overhead, maybe tent the fingers, finding a little more opening through the right side of the body. You also have the option for the half bind, right hand around the low back if you prefer that. About 5 or 6 breaths here. Slowly, when you feel about even, you can unravel. Left arm can open up for a counter twist, maybe some circles through the wrist or shoulder. And passing back through center tabletop. Any last movements here through cat cow you need to even out. And eventually, we'll extend all the way forward onto the belly. We'll take some rolling cobras. So you can extend forward onto the belly, bring the arms out wide. Then plant the fingertips down into the mat, bend the elbows, point them up towards the sky to create an M. You can readjust the distance of the hands here. We're going to press into the fingertips. On your inhale, lift your chest. On your exhale, we'll twist and dip. Right shoulder down, maybe bring the gaze over the left shoulder. As you inhale, come back through center. Gaze can come forward. On your exhale, twist and dip, left shoulder down, maybe bring the gaze over back behind the right shoulder. A few more here at your own pace. You can go as fast or slow as you'd like, maybe pause in one direction and then the other. About 1 or 2 more breaths to even out. When you feel about even, we'll meet in crocodile pose. You can bring the forearms out in front so that they're parallel towards the top edge of the mat. Rest the forehead down on the forearms. You can also option to bend your knees, maybe windshield wiper the legs side to side, release through the low back. And stay here longer if you need. Eventually, we'll meet in child's pose or embryo pose. You can plant the hands underneath the shoulders, send the hips back for child's pose, option for embryo pose by extending the hands down by your sides. About 4 breaths here. And taking your time, we'll slowly lift up into a seat, lifting the chest. Option to sit up on the knees. You can also bring the legs out in front. You can take a few breaths here from seated. Maybe adding some movement through neck or shoulders. You can bring the chin in towards the chest. Maybe take circles through the head, or maybe shrug shoulders up towards the ears. Any little movements that you need to release? And taking your time, we'll set up for a twist and then we'll add a side bend. If you're not already there, we'll bring the legs out in front. You can extend the right leg out long and then bend your left leg, bring the sole of the left foot to meet the inner right thigh. Twisting over towards the left. Left hand plants behind the hip, right arm will reach up towards the sky for length. On your exhale, right hand to left knee or thigh. Gaze can stay neutral, option two, let it fall over the left shoulder. A few breaths here. You may choose to stay in the twist, or we'll add the side bend. So right hand stays rooted down to the left thigh. Left arm will reach up overhead. On your exhale, begin to hinge over towards the right, reaching the left hand up overhead, crown of the head reaches over towards the right toes. Try to keep the hip points grounded and then think about threading that right arm underneath to keep the chest open. And maybe even bringing the gaze up past the left shoulder. See if you can keep the left shoulder stacked up over the right. About 4 or 5 more breaths. And slowly, as you're ready, we'll begin to unravel modified wild thing. Press into the left hand and the left shin. Press down, lift the hips. Find a heart opener here, maybe a little deeper back bend. Option for some circles through the top arm or maybe right hand behind the head. When you're ready, we'll take that to the other side. No rush to get there. We'll lower the hips back down. Left leg can extend out long. And then bend your right leg. Sole of the right foot meets the inner left thigh. Stack shoulders over hips. Adding the twist, right hand behind the hip, left arm reaches up for length. On your exhale, left hand to right knee or thigh. Gaze can stay neutral or maybe let it fall over the right shoulder. Adding in the side bend whenever you're ready. Left hand stays rooted down towards the leg. This time, right arm reaches up overhead. Keep the hips grounded. Begin to hinge over towards the left. Reaching the right fingers over towards that extended leg, crown of the head reaching towards the left toes. Take a moment to restack shoulders, so draw that right shoulder up and back. Open up the collarbone, maybe even bring the gaze up past the right shoulder. About 4 or 5 breaths here. When you feel about even, we'll unwind, take that modified wild thing, right hand behind the hip, press down, lift the hips, open up through the front of the body, maybe some circles through the left arm or hand behind the head. Eventually, we'll meet back through seated. You can cross the legs if you'd like for Sukhasana, any little movements that you need through head or shoulders, neck. We'll take the eagle arms here. Option for the strap if you have it. We'll bring the arms out in front, about 90-degree bend in the arms. And then when you're ready, we'll cross that right arm under, left arm over. Elbows in line with each other. You can bring hands to shoulders, back of the hands together, maybe palms together, or option for the strap if you have it. A few breaths here. Think about squeezing the forearms together. Maybe lift elbows up to around shoulder height. And then option to deepen. Think about energizing the forearms forward, pulling the shoulder blades apart. Stay here, or we'll add a little movement. So on your inhale, you can lift the elbows, maybe lift your gaze, find a little heart opener. On your exhale, crunch in, round through the spine, elbows in towards the chest. A few more just like that at your own pace, flowing with the breath. And if you're flowing on your next inhale, we'll unravel the arms, maybe lift your gaze. And we'll take that to the other side. Exhale, left arm under, right arm over. Elbows in line with one another. Option again, hands to shoulders, back of the hands together, palms together, maybe using that strap. And take a few breaths here to ground down. So really squeeze the forearms together. Maybe elbows lift up to around shoulder height. And then option to deepen by energizing the forearms forward. Think about pulling the shoulder blades apart. Stay here, or we'll add the flow as you inhale. You can lift the elbows, lift the gaze. Exhale, crunch in, round through the spine, elbows in towards the chest. A few more breaths here at your own pace. When you feel about even, you can unravel the arms and then release the hands. You can bring hands to thighs, any little movement through shoulders, neck that you need. And setting up for cow face pose. You have the option for half cow face with the legs. You can start by straightening the left leg out in front, and then taking the right leg, crossing it over the left, bringing the thighs to meet each other. You have the option to take the full cow face legs by bending your left leg, sweeping the foot underneath the hips, making sure the hips are level and grounded. Adding in the arms, we'll inhale, reach the arms up overhead. And then bend the right arm, middle finger finds the spine, elbow pointing up. Left arm, we'll extend it out away from us. Point the thumb down, bend your elbow. Maybe hands meet, maybe use the strap. A few breaths here. Option if you want to deepen, you can tilt the head back or maybe begin to hinge forward at the hips. About 4 or 5 more breaths. Taking your time, we'll slowly begin to unravel. You can unravel the legs, maybe plant the feet, windshield wiper the legs side to side, release through the hips. Then setting up for the other side, we'll cross that left leg over right leg can extend out long. Or option to bend your right leg, sweep the foot underneath the hips, again making sure hips are level and grounded. This time, left arm reaches up overhead, bend the elbow, fingers meet the spine, right arm extends out, point the thumb down, bend your elbows, hands maybe meet, or maybe it finds a strap. A few breaths here. You have the option again to deepen, maybe by leaning back or hinging at the hips, melting the chest forward. About 2 or 3 more breaths. And then slowly taking your time when you feel about even, you can begin to unravel. Maybe plant the feet, windshield wiper the legs, any last little movements that you need. Eventually, we'll meet in a seat and we'll close our class with a single breath. Option to bring hands to heart center, maybe close the eyes. When you're ready, we'll inhale, begin to fill up through belly, ribs, chest, up in a little more air. Open mouth, let something go. Thank you so much for allowing me to share my practice with you today, and I hope to be with you next time you're in your mat.